Hey, happy Saturday. You know what time it is? I do believe it's 11:11. Feeling bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Well, fuzzy-eyed and soft-tailed. Not really. It's pretty bushy. It's pretty bushy back there. Just kidding. Welcome to another Saturday. Look, I got a purple shirt. My internet bestie, Autumn. I say internet. She's my only bestie, really. Anyway, my good friend Autumn sent me this shirt, and it's a good reminder. It's all a phase. I was just reflecting on that. It's all a phase, and all the phases are just perfect. They're all just right. I'm here as usual. Keep myself accountable to myself. Got a little agreement to do a little stretching and strengthening every day. Check in with my body. Make sure that that's okay, because it's the one thing that I need to navigate through this life that I can't really do without. And I invite you to join me, as usual, to whatever degree feels good in your body. If it does, let's start off with just a little arms swinging and silliness and moving around. I've been listening to my somatic coach, Chandler Stevens, talking a lot about movement as a metaphor, and just thinking about how much of a direct correlation there is between how we hold ourselves, how we move ourselves through space, and how we interpret, how we experience the space that we're moving through, right? The time space. So I encourage you, I encourage myself, and I can speak to, because I've struggled with myself a little bit of that. You know, when we crunch up, when we hold ourselves low, when we look at the ground, when we get all closed up, then our experience is more like that. And when we greet the day looking up, when we come at it with a vibrant attitude, then our experience matches that. So there's my random 2-cent thought for this late morning. All that rambling aside and done, let's bring attention into the bottoms of feet for a couple of breaths. Just gonna give myself a couple of breaths to let go of stresses and tensions and worries and cares. Focus in on the bottoms of my feet. Root myself into the center of the earth. Hang myself from the center of the sky. Then I'm going to take a swan dive down with a relatively flat back, from the hips all the way down to the ground. I'm going to step out just a little bit wider stance here and hang in a forward fold, relaxing the belly, relaxing the back. Giving a nice releasing sigh down here, a little shaking things out. Let's pull over to the left a little bit, and then back to center, and then pulling over to the right a little bit, just getting a nice stretch through that arm by using my hand on my foot for torque. Back to center, and then I'm going to bend the knees, swing the arms back, coming into a wide stance, back bend, counter stretch, and then coming back to neutral. Shake all that out. I'm going to bring the feet in a little bit closer under the hips, and then roll down. Nice and slow. Checking in with the spine. Just noticing where it's supple, where it's sticky, where it's stiff, where it's smooth. Shake that again. Just releasing the belly, releasing the back, letting gravity do some unwinding. And then I'm going to roll up nice and slow, stacking one vertebra on the next. Still just checking in with the spine. Let's bring those arms up overhead again, pushing hips forward, lifting the eyes, lifting the chest, coming back to neutral. Shake that out. I'm going to bring hands behind back, clasping hands, pressing palms, rolling shoulder blades together, rolling elbows towards each other, and pulling those arms down, leading with the fingers, the deeper counter stretch, and then coming forward, making sure not to lock these knees, bending from the hips, bringing those hands with me, still pulling shoulder blades towards each other, elbows towards each other, pressing palms. Just actively stretching through the shoulders and chest, drawing my triceratops back here a little bit. And then I'm going to relax, just keeping hands gently clasped, letting gravity do the stretching passively, and then again actively pulling shoulder blades towards each other, pressing palms, pulling elbows. I like to play with that difference between active and passive stretching quite a bit, you might notice, if you've been following me for a while, and I encourage you to just play with that. It blows my mind all the time how passive stretching and active stretching can work together to get more stretching. So this is passively just letting gravity do the work, just relaxing the muscles, and then actively pulling the muscles with the other muscles, stretching the front by pulling the back together. And then I'm going to release all of that, letting elbows fall away from each other, bringing hands down to the low back. Give the little low back sacrum a check, checking down the butt, down the backs of the legs, checking in with the hamstrings, checking in with the backs of the knees, checking in with the calves, just giving the body a little love, checking the backs of the ankles, coming around front to check in with the toes. Hey toes, I see you in those boots. Checking in with the fronts of the ankles. I'm going to roll up slowly, checking in with the shins and the fronts of the knees, giving a little love to the thighs and the hips and the pelvis, and the butt and the torso and the chest and the arms. Do a little gentle smoothing down each arm, just reminding all the energetic loops to work together, to release tension, to dislodge stagnation. I'm going to do a little rub palms together, bring that whole body together, smoothing up the face and down the back of the head, and then shaking that out. Breathing in and releasing stresses. One more time. Breathing in relaxation, and breathing out stress. Just letting things go. Not to worry, there'll be more tension on the way before you know it. You don't need to hang on to the one you got. The ones you got, the tensions you got. I don't know if tensions is a plural or a singular. Let's stop and overthink that for a sec or two, shall we? I think it's plural. I'm going to step back with the left foot, pulling the back hip forward, forward hip back, and tipping the tailbone under a little bit to look for a nice long and strong line through the abdomen and spine. Pressing into that back heel, lifting the arms, making sure not to crunch up in the shoulders. And then I'm going to close the hips even more, pulling that back hip forward, forward hip back, and looking to this outside plane here. Checking in with the alignment, and then I'm going to slide that back foot back a little more on the toe and bring this left hand down on the inside of the right leg for a twisting side aeroplane triangle. Make a nice aeroplane noise if you feel like it. That's an old school duster. Crop dusting airplane. Bring this hand around the hips. Yes, I'm still silly, in case you were wondering. Hanging on to that opposite side hip for a nice twist through the midsection, giving all the organs a nice hug. Making sure not to collapse in the supporting arm or leg. Gazing out past that back leg. Really getting into that twist a little bit for a nice hug to all the organs. Then I'm going to unwind all of that. Bring this hand down on the outside of that front leg and straightening that leg for a forward fold. Aiming my chin for toes. Draping the body over that forward leg. And then bringing weight onto both hands and bringing that front leg back to meet the back leg. Pressing through the palms. Through the spine. Tipping the tailbone toward the back of the head. Pressing into the heels. And then swinging the body forward. Squiggle those legs back because I got a heater right here on my face. Lifting the chest. Lifting the eyes, letting the belly just drop, pulling those legs together, protecting the low back by clenching the butt cheeks together a little bit, and then just really working to relax through the belly, relax through the front. Remembering to breathe and smile, whatever else I'm doing, if I can. It's one of my main goals, breathing and smiling. And then lifting those hips, pressing back again through the palms. Into the heels, scooching that pillow out the way, tipping the tailbone toward the back of the head, pressing the heart toward the center of the earth. And then I'm going to swing this left foot forward into a nice deep lunge. I like to bounce on the deep lunges. You see what feels good to you and do that. One step forward with the back foot. And back just a little because of that heater. And then I'm going to hang here. In forward fold, just letting the spine unwind, letting the belly relax. Relaxing the shoulders, relaxing the neck. I'm going to bend the knees, swing the arms back. Coming into another counter stretch, pushing the hips forward, lifting the eyes and chest. And then coming back to neutral. Just shake all that out. Step back with the right foot into a nice moderate lunge. Pulling the back hip forward, forward hip back. Tipping the tailbone under, pressing into that back heel. Checking that the front toes are not crunching past the front knee or vice versa. Making sure the knee isn't crunching past the toes. Make sure the toes could crunch past the knee, although crunching might not be the right terminology. Crunching this back hip forward and forward hip back a little more. Checking out this outside plane. Checking in with the alignment. I'm going to slide that back foot back on the toes. Bringing my right hand down on the inside of my left leg. And lifting that left hand. Gazing past those fingertips. For a nice twisting side aeroplane triangle on this side. I'm going to bring this hand around, reach for that opposite hip. Gazing past the long leg, giving all those organs a nice hello, a little ringing out, a little check. Everybody's doing all right this morning, I'm happy to say. Bring this arm back around to the outside of that left leg and straightening that leg. Draping the body over that forward leg. Aiming my chin for my toes with a flat back. And then bringing weight onto hands, bringing that foot back to meet the back foot and pressing through the palms, through the spine, tipping the tailbone toward the back of the head, pressing into both heels. And then I'm going to swing the body forward again, squeaking those legs back, keeping the legs pulled together. Making sure not to sink in the shoulders, lifting the chest and eyes, and relaxing the belly. I got a nice tongue stretch there if you feel inclined. It's a good spot for it. In case you're behind on your tongue stretches, could happen. I like to rock a little bit on the feet back there to kind of change up the stretch on my low back and my belly. And then I'm going to lift those hips, pressing back again into downward facing dog, as it's often called, or an upside down tent triangle, tipping the tailbone toward the back of the head, pressing into the heels, and then swinging that right foot forward in between my hands for a nice deep lunge on that side. Feel a good sigh is in order there. Step forward with that back foot and hang here again in forward fold. Just letting the spine release a little bit. One more time. And rolling up. Pushing through the feet. Slowly stacking one vertebra on the next. Let's do some big arm circles. Breathing in on the way up and exhaling on the way down. I'm going to bend the knees. Swinging the arms up. Filling the lungs with air and then squeezing that out. Let's go the other way. Shaking all that out. Let's do some little circles with fingers, hands on wrists. Just checking in with the little guys and the big guys today, and girls. Going the other way. Shake that out. Let's do some circles with the legs, bringing my weight onto the right leg, bringing my left knee up toward left shoulder, relaxing those shoulders, tipping the tailbone under, relaxing that supporting side, and let's do little circles with foot on ankle. One way and then the other, and then medium circles from the knee. Again, just checking in with the whole body. Keeping it playful, going the other way. Really working to relax that supporting foot. Let's do big circles with the hip or from the hip. Trying to stay nice and long and strong in that supporting side without careening over. Although, if I do, hopefully I'll land well. Stomping that out a little, and let's bring weight onto the left, bringing the right knee up toward right shoulder, relaxing the shoulders, tipping the tailbone under, making sure to relax that supporting foot and leg, and then little circles with the foot on ankle, and the other way. And medium circles from the knee. Still try not to counter lean and trying to relax that supporting foot. Coming around the other way. Noticing the differences in the two sides and how the two sides work together to accomplish things on any given side. Big circles from the hip. And the other way. Before I fall over, I'm going to stop that. I'm going to get to some inversions and some 100 any reps. Do just a little more arm swinging. One more. Shaking it off. Almost got my clap snaps back. My hands are just a little bit numb and swollen compared to what they were the last few months. Are much better. Anyway, I hope you remember to take care of your hands and all your other body parts, because most of them you're going to need to get through the day, or at least some of them. Anyway, the more you take care of them, the more they'll take care of you, has been my experience with body parts. And you are worth it, worthy of your own unconditional love, so I hope you're giving yourself that. I encourage you to breathe, smile, and play. I wish you a fantastic Saturday. I'll be seeing you. Peace.